In this English pronunciation tutorial, you're going to learn the English diphthong A, as in hey or pay. I'm going to give you a simple 5-step process to help you learn the diphthong and then integrate it into your English speech so it sounds natural and comfortable. I'm going to use the same 5-step process that I use with my private English pronunciation clients, and it works consistently every time. At the end of the video, I'm going to give you 3 exercises that you can use to actually implement this diphthong into your English speech. And that really is going to be the final stage of the process in helping you to start to sound more natural when you're speaking English with this diphthong. So make sure you watch until the end. If you do feel like you've still got room for improvement in your English speech, then make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on for weekly pronunciation tutorials designed to help you speak English with confidence and credibility, so you speak English with more fun and essentially have a better time in English. Let's get started with the 5-step process. So A, pay, hey. There are 2 sounds in this English diphthong, and they are and I. I. Step 1 is to learn the English vowel sound e. So let's look at this vowel sound and break it down. It comes from the front of my mouth. It's a front vowel sound. My mouth is 3/4 closed, and just to put this into context, in comparison to other vowel sounds that come from the front of my mouth, just watch me do this. I, a, I. These are all front vowel sounds, and you can see there, how wide my mouth is open, in comparison to I, and a. So I, you want your mouth in this position to make the sound, So our lips are unrounded. It's not like that. Our lips are unrounded, It comes from the front of our mouth, and with all English diphthongs, the vowel sounds that make the diphthongs are short English vowel sounds. So it's not it's . Okay, that is sound 1, . Step 2 of the 5-step process is to learn the I sound. I. So we've actually already just looked at the I sound briefly by comparing it to the E sound. So for I, my mouth is more closed. It's almost completely closed. I. The sound does come just a tiny bit further back in my mouth than the E sound. It's still a front vowel sound in English because it's still coming from the front of my mouth. I. Look at my lips. My lips are completely unrounded, but they're wide. They're wide. I. And again, it's a short English vowel sound. So to compare again, I, this diphthong is only using a small part of the mouth, which is the front, from to I, to I. So step 3 of the 5-step process is to actually practice making the diphthong. To do that, we're going to start with a simple exercise, which is just going between the 2 different sounds. I. Another thing that you can do just to give that exercise a bit more context is to put that into a word. Bet, bit, bet, bit, bet, bit, bet. It's really important that even before you actually make the diphthong, that you're comfortable with both sounds and actually knowing where they come from in your mouth. And that's why putting them into a word like that can really help. The next exercise is to actually make the diphthong. We're going to do this really, really slowly. So what we're going to do is go like this. A, Okay, now this will feel really unnatural to begin with. Don't worry, it's going to feel unnatural. Even me doing it that slowly feels unnatural. But the reason I'm doing it that slowly is so I can develop control in making the two sounds and going between them, so that when I say the diphthong quicker, A, I'm already used to doing this motion and going between these two sounds. So practice it slowly, that's really going to help. A, 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 A. Okay, so those are just, there's only two exercises there that you really need to do. Practice both the two sounds, I, next to each other, and then A, going between the two sounds together, A. The fourth step in the 5-step process is to actually now practice putting the diphthong into English words. You can now make it, that's great. Now we need to actually learn how to use it in English. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 10 words that contain this diphthong in English, all right? Before I give you the words, practice making them with me, and make sure that when you're saying the words, focus on getting the diphthong correct in the words, but also focus on getting the sounds either side of the diphthong correct as well, all right? Let's go. Word number 1 is hey, 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 hey. Saying hey to someone in English is an informal way of saying hi. So if I'm seeing a friend, I might say hey instead of hi, okay? Word 2, 8, 8, 8, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? Number in English, very important. 8, 8, 8, 8. Word 3, mate, 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 mate. So friends in English, another word for friends is mates, mates, mates. I've got lots of mates. Next, dates, 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 dates. So a date is a kind of really sticky fruit. I'm sure you know it. Dates, dates, dates. Maybe your country grows them. I love them. We don't grow them here in England, but they're really nice, and I enjoy having them when I can. Dates, dates, dates. Also, you've got the time and the date. Exactly the same pronunciation. What's the date today? Okay, you've got the date as well. Next, same, 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 same. This is the same seat that I sat in when I last came to the place that I'm sitting right now. Same, same. You can say this is the same cup as that one, okay? Same. Very common word in English, very important to get correct. Waiting, 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 waiting. The easier version of this word is wait, wait, wait. Wait there, please. But now I'm waiting to meet someone. I'm waiting to meet someone. That leads me nicely onto the next word, which is patiently. 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 I'm waiting patiently. I'm waiting patiently. 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 Also, patiently, there's a word that's similar to that but completely different meaning in English. Patient, patient, patient. If you're in hospital, you're a patient in hospital. Next word, favourite, 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 favourite. My favourite street in London is one of the ones near here. My favourite street in London is one of the ones near here. Just if you're interested, this street behind me is a famous street in London. It's called Lamb's Conduit Street, and it's full of really nice cafes and some really quirky and interesting shops. So this here is Lamb's Conduit Street. And word 10 is aggregate, 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 aggregate. Okay, aggregate means to bring together. So if you bring together all the data to look at it, you aggregate the data. So you've got 10 words there. Practice putting this sound into those words, and once you're comfortable putting it into the words, then you can move on to the 5th and final stage of the 5-step process, which is putting the words into sentences. But what we're going to do to really stress test your ability to make sure that you're making this sound correctly is we're going to make some sentences that have this particular sound and words that contain this diphthong in multiple places. And that's really going to get you comfortable making the sound frequently and consistently in your English speech. So I'm going to give you 3 sentences that contain this diphthong in multiple places, okay? The first one is this. Hey Jane, thanks for waiting patiently. 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 As you make this sentence, just be aware of yourself actually making the diphthong and really ensure that you're saying it correctly. Because once you start to combine it with other sounds and other words in English, that's when you can start to make mistakes. Okay, so make sure that you're making it correctly. The next sentence to test you, and this is going to be quite a difficult one, okay, so get ready to really feel it in your mouth, is 8 mates went on dates on the same day. 8 mates went on dates on the same day. 8 mates went on dates on the same day. 8 mates went on dates on the same day. And the third and final sentence is, the change in the way we pay for grain is amazing. The change in the way that we pay for grain is amazing. The change in the way that we pay for grain is amazing. The change in the way that we pay for grain is amazing. The change in the way that we pay for grain is amazing. Okay, I'm feeling this in my mouth now. Just from making these sentences and these words, I'm actually feeling it in my mouth now. So I can guarantee that you're going to feel it in yours. That's a good thing, okay? That means that you're training your mouth muscles in a way that you don't normally train them, and that's a good sign because that means that you're training them to make the sound correctly, okay? Practice what I've given you here consistently over the next week. Really focus on just improving this one part of your English speech and pronunciation, and that's really going to help you to make rapid improvements right from the start. My suggestion would be this. First of all, do the homework, actually practice this lesson right here, right now, get comfortable with it. Then just pick a couple of words, 3 or 4 words, ideally, that contain this diphthong, and then focus as you go about your day-to-day life on getting these words into your English speech, if you're speaking English on a day-to-day basis. Maybe you're living in England or another English-speaking country around the world. Okay, if you've liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe and turn notifications on for weekly pronunciation tutorials that come out like this to help you to speak English with confidence and to speak English with credibility and with a really professional accent. And share the video with anyone that you know that could benefit from improving their English pronunciation. That's really going to help them, and also it's going to help me to grow the channel so I can keep making more videos like this for you to improve your English speech and pronunciation, okay? So thumbs up, see you in the next video. Watch this video next. That's going to really help you to develop another aspect of your English pronunciation, and I look forward to seeing you in the next week's lesson. See you soon.